Hi YouTube and Blade Forums, John here again. Today I'm doing another edge retention test. This one's different than the previous ones though. This one is going to be about fine edge retention. So how long each knife and steel holds its razor fine edge. Okay, so we're not going to go for hundreds of cuts. We're just going to go until it loses its razor edge. Okay, so we're testing the Benchmade Valet in m390 and the Kershaw Leek in Sandvik 14c28n. So what I'm going to be doing here is cutting these pieces of cardboard and testing it every 3 cuts to see if it'll still slice the paper towel clean. Okay, and so the cardboard that I have here, I have a stack. This is cut from the same piece of cardboard. It was a Whirlpool clothes dryer box that I got. Okay, so I will start with the Leek. My prediction is the Leek is going to do better on this test because it's a razor steel. But I'm hoping for the Benchmade Valet to do better since I paid a lot of money for this knife. So I'm going to try to use just the front half of the edge if possible, okay? So here we go. By the way, I just sharpened these knives the same way using the Spyderco fine sharp maker rod. Okay, so there's 3. I forgot to show this cutting through the paper towel first, darn it. But they both had a very fine edge to begin with. They cut through like champions. So that's the first 3 cuts. Now let's go for the second 3. And I'm cutting here with the grain of the cardboard, okay? Oh, that got hard to cut through. Alright, test number 2. Still cutting through. Well, it's not bad actually. Alright, test number 3. And keep in mind, I'm trying to keep using the front of the edge only, and I'm trying to get an even amount of use from about right here to right there. So we have 1, 2, 3, and we have 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's 7. 8 and 9. So this is the end of round 3. So now we're going to cut this again, if we can. Okay, it's still cutting it clean. So round 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's still cutting nice and clean. And I will get fresh paper towels as we go along just to make sure it's still cutting good. Okay, let's spin the cardboard on that one. 1. 2. I gotta turn this over. 3. Let's get a piece of paper towel. Okay, it's still digging into it, pretty clean. So you'll see it's still cutting. So next round. Two, 3. Alright, next cut. Alright, it's starting to cut through a little bit now. So let me try that again. Okay, so it's still cutting through. I want to skip this piece of cardboard because it's kind of crushed a little bit. So next round. And I've already lost track of where I'm at, so I will count these after the video's over and I'll give you guys a tabulation. Unless you guys are counting yourselves. 2, 3. Alright. Alright, I still able to get through there, but it's getting pretty tough now. 1, 2, 3. That slid off a little bit right there. Okay, still kind of cutting. Let's try a new one here, fresh paper towel. Alright, it's still cutting well enough because it's able to slice through still without tearing it. 1, 2, 3. Now it's kind of getting a little more difficult. Let's see. I don't know. Let me see what I can do here. I'm just barely able to get into it, but once I get into it, it cuts a little bit better. Okay. So we'll mark that as a little bit more difficult to get into the paper towel. 1, 2, 3. My main goal on this test is until it starts to rip the paper towel, because if it can cut through the paper towel, if it can slice through it, it's still doing well. Okay, that still did it. 1, 2, 3. That's having troubles getting into the paper towel quite a bit. Let's see, that might be it. No, I'm still able to get in and slice it, so I'm going to continue on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, still actually doing pretty well. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Alright, still recording. So another 3 cuts. 1, 2, 3. It cuts through the cardboard better now, I think because it's got more of a toothy edge now, but it's not cutting to the paper towel as well. Get a fresh one here. So it's really having trouble cutting into it now, but once it's in, it's slicing it still. It's still getting in though, and it's still making a somewhat clean cut. I'm still calling that good. Try back here further. Yeah, that's still really good. Alright. This is going longer than I thought it would. 1, 2, 3. And I have you guys at an angle where you can see what part of the edge I'm using on this test here. Still going into the paper towel. It cut on there. Let me try it again. Let's try one more time. Okay, still good. A couple more, hopefully. Hopefully we're almost to the end here. 1, 2, 3. Let's get a fresh paper towel. still pretty much slicing through. See, it's sliding off the edge now, so it got in still. Let's see, that's almost at the end, I think. Let's try it again. No, let's see, it's still going through. Yeah, that's still cutting clean. It's still able to get through the paper towel. That's still good. 1, 2, 3. So we'll try another paper towel. That's getting a little bit difficult there. Alright, you're still able to slice through pretty clean. We're still recording. Another 3. Yeah, I knew the leek was going to do well because it has that razor steel. But I didn't expect that it was going to keep going this long though. So basically this test will be done if it can't get into the paper towel or if it can't slice through it clean. So see, it's still making a clean cut. It's having troubles getting in though. Now see, it's still going in though. Still cutting. Alright, time for another 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, another test. Alright, it's still going through. 1, 2, 3. Alright, that was a little more difficult. Let's see what it does on the second time. Alright, last chance. Let's see, it wasn't able to get in very well. Let's see. Okay, it stopped recording there. I don't know where it stopped recording, but it made it through the paper towel again. But let me try it again, just in case you missed it. So it's still cutting. After I do one cut through the paper towel, it kind of cleans up the edge a little, I think. 1, 2, 3. Let's go fresh paper towel. And again, if it fails to cut into this, oops, I went too far. If it fails to cut in, or I can't do a clean cut through the paper towel, it's over. That's not a clean cut. Let's see if, give it a second chance. That's a clean cut. Let's try it again. Okay, sawing doesn't count. It has to go in, so let me try it. Yeah, it's still cutting through, I think. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that ripped the edge at the very end. That's ripping the edge at the end. Let me try it again. I don't even know if it's really getting in. Okay, that's ripping the end. So that's that for that one, okay? So I'll count it up and I'll do the next test. Okay, here to resume the testing on the Leek. See how much farther we can go with here. Since both the Leek and the Valet still cut paper towels when we are done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That cut through nice and easy right there. Alright, it got jagged at the end there. Let me try it again. Alright, those are actually jagged cuts. The leak could actually be at the end. Let me just make sure. Okay, that one went through clean. Here we go, 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make sure all the cardboard residue is off. That's barely getting in on the top there. Okay, that cut it pretty bad. Let's try another piece of paper towel. Okay, that was almost there. It skipped at the end though. Let me try it again. Okay, that went through kind of clean. Alright, that's ripping it again. Let's try another paper towel. Okay, that ripped it again at the bottom and at the top, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to give it one more chance because I feel like my technique could be messing it up. And it's folding over the paper towel just to get it in, so. Yeah, okay, it's ripping. I can't get it through. So that's it for the leak. Okay guys, so I'm back here. So this is going to be my recap video. So initially I did this cut test. The cut test was to see test the razor sharp edge holding capabilities of these two knives. So you have your working edge, how long a knife can cut, how many pieces of rope it can cut while still cutting, printer paper. But this, we've always heard people saying, well, this still holds a razor edge longer than this steel, but this still holds a working edge longer than this steel. Okay? So I wanted to test the razor edge holding capability of these, not the working edge. So I set out to do the test, cutting through cardboard until it would no longer reliably slice this paper towels, And initially the Leek had won with 60 cuts versus the 48 cuts of the Valet. But then when I was going through the recap video, the Valet was actually cutting the paper towel better. And then I went through phone book. They both easily went through phone book paper, but that should be how it is though, because this is still a razor sharp edge. Okay, because we didn't go to the end like with the rope cut test, just until it would stop cutting paper towel. And then I went to shaving my arm hair. This thing shaved off more arm hair easily than this one did. Okay, so then I realized I need to redo this test. So I didn't start over, I just started off where I left off. And from that point on, the Leek did another 10 cuts before it just completely died. And the Valet did another 55 cuts. So we have the winner changed hands here. The winner now is the Valet with 103 total cuts versus the 70 on the Leek. Okay. Now with this test here, there was different parameters with these things. They behaved in very different ways. With the Leek here, it was cutting through the paper towel easier to begin with because it can take a finer edge. But as it was wearing down for the first 15 to 20 cuts, this was actually doing better than the Valet. So for the first, 20, 25 cuts up to that point, maybe 30 cuts even, this was the better cutter. And then that's when this one started going down. Around the 20 cut mark, I thought this was done. I mean, it was having a hard time going through. So this actually maintained the razor edge better initially. So for the first, couple dozen cuts. And that could be attributed to how thin the edge is on here. This has very good edge geometry. And it has that razor steel. This has a really fine grain. So you don't have those, thick, those heavy, hard carbides in there. Where this one here, it was struggling from the beginning because it doesn't get as sharp as the Leek. This one here, it's actually thicker behind the edge than the Leek. It doesn't have the awesome geometry that this Leek has, although it still has good geometry. So this one, it did well for the first 5 or 10 cuts, but then I thought it was going to die shortly after that, but it kept going to 48. But the thing is, this one held on to that razor edge longer in the end. Although this one had a sharper edge to begin with because it's a thinner knife stock, this one ended up winning. So this one actually held its edge better in the long run. So just to show where we're at here, to see if they're both equally dead again, I'm going to cut through the paper towel again. Okay, so they're cutting through better now than they were when I stopped again. But let's see. So you can see it catches, it's pretty much over for that guy. This one here, this one actually slides into the paper towel easier. And that's probably because of the carbides. It just bites into it a little bit more, so it goes deeper in the initial cut. Let me try it again. This is just to show where they were at after the test here, okay? So it looks like this one died down more now. So they're both relatively dead, but they both still get through. But just to show where they're at, here's phone book paper. Alright, there we go. So you can still see it can cut phone book paper. So it still has a good edge on it still, okay? Now for the Leek. It still cuts foam paper well, as you can see. It does a good job. It has some catches on there, but this has a really thin blade stock, so it still cuts pretty good, okay? And now just to do like what we do at the end of the rope test, we'll cut through printer paper. So you can see how easily it's cutting through the printer paper. So this is nowhere near as dull as these would be after the rope cutting test. Okay, so you can see how they both cut through the printer paper no problem. So that just shows you the degree of sharpness they're still at. If this was on the rope test, these would still have a long way to go. So that's the end of my video. I had expected the Leek to win, but in the end the Valet pulled ahead. So in the end, 103 cuts versus 70 cuts for how long it will hold its razor sharp edge. Let me just try shaving some hair really quick. Okay, that one took off about a dozen hairs. One took off about almost like a half dozen hairs. So that's the weird thing. This one is shaving better. So either way, we have a winner here, the Valet. So let me know what you guys think. It's a long video, so that's why I did this recap one, and I'm going to post this separately so you guys can see what the results were, and then you guys can view the video footage to see how it was done. So thank you guys for watching again. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys. Bye.